Hello, welcome friends. In this video, we will discuss some notes of our poem Kubla Khan. Before watching this video, I will suggest you please go to my playlist and you will find another video where I have analyzed this poem line by line. But in this video, we will just talking about some notes, right? So, this poem Kubla Khan is written by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, who was a prominent English poet, philosopher, and critic who played a crucial role in the Romantic literary movement. Samuel Taylor Coleridge was born on October 21st in the year of 1772 in Ottery, St. Mary, Devon, England. He studied at Jesus College, Cambridge, where he began to develop his literary and philosophical interest. So, we all know that uh, William Wordsworth was closest poet friend of S.T. Coleridge, right? So the Romantic revival that was started by two of them, William Wordsworth and Coleridge, with the publication of lyrical ballads in the year of 1797. Coleridge's literary career was marked by his partnership with William Wordsworth. Together, they published Lyrical Ballad in 1798, a collection that is often credited with launching the Romantic age of English literature. So, Coleridge's contribution we will discuss later. Okay. So, we have seen that Wordsworth took nature as the central theme of his writing, whereas Coleridge took supernatural energy as his main theme of his writing career, right? Coleridge was at Jesus College from 1791 to 1794, right? In the year of 1797, he married to Sarah Fricker. Sarah Fricker was the sister of Robert Southey's wife, right? So, his friendship with Wordsworth and his sister, Dorothy Wordsworth, were very intimate during that time, right? One thing I want to say was that Coleridge was also a slave of opium, right? In addition to his poetry, Coleridge was a significant critic and philosopher. Because today he is better remembered as a critic than as a poet, right? So his Biographia Literaria is a key text in literary criticism, offering insights into his theories of literature and aesthetics. His works also include Aids to Reflection and The Friend, where he explores philosophical and religious themes. If you will ever go through Biographia Literaria, where you can find numerous theories of criticism. If we discuss his poetic career, we can divide them into four periods, right? So the earliest period that extended from 1794 to 1796, right? So it includes works like Song of the Pixies, Lines on an Autumnal Evening, and Luti, and also religious musings, right? Then came the second blossoming period, and it spanned from 1796 to 97, when he wrote Ode to the Departing Year, The Lime Tree Bore, and Frost at Midnight, Fears in Solitude, etc. But the full blossoming periods came in the next phase of his life, where he was at the height of his poetic genius. Poems like Kubla Khan, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, Christabel were written during this period. And the fourth and last period that came with a decline in the inspiration and his achievement. So, two poems of great merit were written in this period. One is Dejection and Ode and Love. Okay. So, we can say that he belonged to an age of great poetic output. Coleridge's life was marked by personal struggle, including chronic illness, in addition to opium, which affected his productivity. So, despite these challenges, his influence on literature and criticism remains profound. He passed away on 25th July in the year of 1834 in London at the age of 61. Kubla Khan is one of Coleridge's most famous poem, written in 1797 and published in the year of 1816. The poem is often regarded as masterpiece of romantic literature and is known for its rich imagery and imaginative scope. Do you know this poem was published at the request of Lord Byron in 1816? So let's start the poem. First, look at its structure of this poem. Kubla Khan is a 54-line lyrical poem divided into two parts. The first part describes Kubla Khan's construction of a grand pleasure dome in Xanadu, featuring rich and exotic imagery. The second part, listen, Xanadu is a fictitious town, right? So you can say it's as a mythical city. The second part reflects on the poet's creative vision and his interrupted inspiration, conveying a sense of longing and the ephemeral nature of artistic creation. Main themes we will discuss at the end of this poem. So first we will analyze its summary. Summary is actually in the summer of year 1797, the author was in ill health. During that time, he had retired to a lonely farmhouse between Porlock and Linton, right? So, due to the effects of opium, which he fell asleep in the chair, and at that time, he was reading something about Kubla Khan. Then he continued for about 3 hours in a profound sleep. Actually, at this moment, after 3 hours, at this moment he was unfortunately called out by a person on business from Porlock. And after talking with him above an hour, again he returned to his room, but found that almost when he came back to his room, he has forgot some portion of his dream, still retained some vague, and tried to recollect it in the form of poetry. Then he took his pen, ink, and started writing. That's why Coleridge always says this poem is a fragment, because it's not a complete poem, and that too of a dream, fragment of a dream. That's why he considered this poem. So he also seems to be very apologetic about it, as he could not complete this poem. So as a reader, if we analyze this poem line by line, we may not get any complete output, but if we see the poem as a whole, we will definitely going to enjoy a romantic piece of S.T. Coleridge. But we should not take this poem very seriously, or we may not find any deeper meaning or a wider suggestion. We can just consider this poem as a boon of heightened imagination, right? So we can't say this poem as a communication of an idea. Rather, it will be better to consider this poem as an imaginative exploration, right? So let's start its summary. Samuel Taylor Coleridge's poem Kubla Khan presents a fantastical vision of the Mughal ruler Kubla Khan and his creation of the pleasure dome in the mythical city of Xanadu. This poem opens with a description of this pleasure dome in an extraordinary structure of ice situated in a sunny region, showcasing a blend of natural beauty and supernatural marvel. In the first stanza, Coleridge imagines Kubla Khan commanding from his lavish palace with the river Alpha flowing through grand chambers and merging with the sea. The city is encircled by tall towers and walls with loose gardens and aromatic plants, enhancing its beauty. So what happened? So we all know that Kubla Khan, he was an ancient powerful king of China. Once he ordered the building of a majestic pleasure in Xanadu. So where the sacred river Alpha ran through the city Xanadu, which make this land a fertile one. In this first stanza, he discussed that the course of the river was through dark and immeasurable cavern. So what is cavern? Cavern means cave. Okay. So and finally this river fell into a dark sea. The land 10 miles in perimeter was fertile, and it was well fenced with walls and towers. It had gardens, it had stream, and also fragrant trees. Those bear sweet smelling flowers. There are forests. There are also some oldest hills, and midst of which there are green grassy patches of land bright with sunshine. The second stanza delves into the natural and divine aspects of the landscape. It describes a rift in a green hill Ripped means break. In a green hill covered with moss evoking a wild untamed energy, a holy river meanders through the woods and valley, adding to the mystical atmosphere. The poem then contrasts human and divine creativity with Kubla Khan hearing prophetic voices about future conflicts. The shadow of the pleasure dome symbolizes the intersection of reality and imagination. So, what happened? The poet has also written that there was a fountain that came out with these rocks and stones took from the sacred river Alpha, which followed a meandering path through the wood and valley and reached very deep and dark caverns, and then fell with the noise in a lifeless ocean. At the same time, in this tumult, Kubla Khan also heard the voice of his ancestor, and his ancestors were foretelling about a war. So you all know that war is a symbol of destruction. Here, the poet contrasted the creative power of his imagination with the warning of future wars by his ancestors. So, the poem then contrasts human and divine creativity with Kubla Khan hearing prophetic voice about future conflicts. The shadow, the pleasure dome symbolizes the intersection of reality and imagination. In the final stanza, the poet dreams of a damsel from Ethiopia. A damsel means unmarried girl. With Ethiopia playing a musical instrument and singing for Mount Avora. He admires her song and wishes he could capture its beauty in his own work to inspire and enchant his audience. So, in this stanza, the poet is reminded of a vision once he had. It was a Abyssinian maid who played on her dulcimer. Dulcimer, it's a one type of musical instrument, and sang of Mount Avora. So her symphony and song were so excellent that if the poet could revive that in his poetry, he would enjoy heavenly bliss and create art as charming as Kubla Khan's palace. Conclusion. Kubla Khan by Samuel Taylor Coleridge stands as a powerful testament to the boundless nature of human creativity and the allure of the sublime. Through its vivid imagery and fantastical settings, the poem transcends ordinary experience, depicting the grandeur of Kubla Khan's pleasure dome and mythical city of Xanadu, merging natural beauty with supernatural wonder. Through its rich evocative imagery, Coleridge delves into themes of human creativity, divine inspiration, and the interplay between reality and imagination. So, ultimately, Kubla Khan stands as a masterpiece, power of imagination, illustrating how art can bridge the gap between the real and extraordinary and inspire awe and wonder in its audience. Though this poem was imagine Though this poem and this luxurious palace both were imaginary, yet we can consider it as one of the most celebrated and famous poem that is written by S.T. Coleridge. I think you have enjoyed this poem. Thank you. Have a good time.